I found a manuscript with a language that refuses to die, but nobody alive could tell me why the letters crawl like roots through a garden of impossible plants. While every careful scholar keeps asking what the symbols imply, the pages describe a garden that should not exist, where silver leaves grow after midnight and a black flower opens. Only when the moon disappears, the margins contain a recipe written backwards in a language that resembles Anon, but the grammar bends sideways. And every translation produces another answer, so I read it as a warning. And the warning reads, remember the thing you cannot name may already know your name. The old scribes wrote of creatures without calling them monsters. They wrote of borrowed faces and voices that sounded almost human. They wrote of children born beneath the full moon, and beasts that walked upright when the village bells stopped ringing. They wrote of forest shadows with wings and eyes that reflected no stars. They loved the spirits that crossed thresholds without opening doors, and somewhere between folklore and fear, the descriptions became suspiciously precise. A creature with antlers beneath its skin, a woman whose reflection moved before she did, a serpent that carried a crown of feathers, a bird with the face of an old king, and a stone giant sleeping beneath a mountain, waiting for thunder to wherever its heartbeat. None of this belongs to zoology, but every culture built a catalog for things that civilization could not classify. So I placed the legends beside the manuscripts, and suddenly the impossible begins to rhyme. The varnished pages become a doorway. The herbal drawings become clues. The unreadable script becomes a machine for imagination, and the plants look less like medicine and more like instructions for surviving. Something ancient one page says, gather the ghost fern when the moon is red. Another says, grind star ash beneath cedar smoke. Another says, collect 3 drops of dawn before the first raven speaks, and never heat the mixture, because fire wakes what the liquid is meant to hide. I know the recipe is fiction, but inside the archive, fiction has fingerprints, and every fingerprint tells a story. The elders called it second sight, painted silver blue across the eyelids to expose a false face. And if the stranger smiled too perfectly, the pupils carried no stars, and the shadow moved one heartbeat late, then run. Because the disguise was never skin, it was memory wearing skin. And that idea follows me through every dead language, every vanished kingdom, every story somebody dismissed as superstition, because the old world did not separate myth from observation. The way modern categories then run, they watched the sky, watched animals, watched dreams, watched disease, and wrote down everything they feared. Forgetting some pages became sacred, some became debated, some became jokes told beside fires while children pretended not to listen. But every joke leads a fossil, where every fossil can become evidence inside a song. Verse 2. Now the letters accelerate. I translate the rent translated. I manufacture meanings from fragments. I build a fictional lexicon in the bones of dead inscriptions, where no dictionary survives, and every syllable becomes a switch in the machinery of the narrative vellum. Under candlelight papyrus, under desert dust clay, beneath river mud, bark beneath northern rain, all carrying different alphabets, but the same ancient obsession. How do you protect the living from what lies beyond the visible? How do you recognize a thing that learned your language before you did? How do you know the stranger at the doorway is actually the stranger at the doorway? The manuscript answers with nonsense, then nonsense answers with rhythm, then rhythm answers with a bus of it for eternal life. Take one grain rain of imagined sunlight. 7 drops of winter water, ash from a tree that never grew, and seal the vessel before the first shadow reaches the window. The kitchen is impossible, useless, a yacht, so painful because every civilization and ever tilting that promise to the being the limits of being human, eternal life. Healing, conscious protection from steering, resurrections from fearing. Knowledge, the potion is fake, but the desire is historical. A blame McManus where the story becomes dangerous. Not because the formula works, but because someone always believes it. Mike the Scribes understood that fear can create monsters faster than darkness ever could. So they wrote another warning: never accuse the wrong soul. Monsters have stolen faces, but fear has stolen more. And now the manuscript changes language, means sentence. Hebrew-shaped letters beside Greek, beside Latin, beside symbols nobody can classify. And I hear the dead languages arguing inside the concussion. One says demon, one says deity, one says ancestor, one says disease, one says dream, one says nothing at all. Because sometimes the blank speaks is the oldest word. Of every culture I turn a page and find a drawing of a wolf with human hands beneath it, a note describing a transformation beneath it.